Over to you, Paresh, sir. We are live.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of In Conversation With. In Conversation With is a management series by CASI Global from New York, where we invite senior professionals from across the world, across industries, in search of executable advice. So today's session is day 3 of the drones policy impact and business. We have a very interesting panel lined up with Richard from UK, Avinash, Shubhashish, and Smith from India. And we are shortly expecting Dr. Bal Singh Rajput, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mumbai, to join us for this interesting discussion. So before we go on to the first speaker, let me make the announcements. My name is Paresh, and I am a member of the board of CASI at New York. We are the world's largest platform for sustainability with a presence across 52 countries. We also run a very large volunteering platform with a reach of over 3 million volunteers. So before we start and go on to the first speaker for the day, I have a small question. Anybody can give me an answer. Please give me a short answer, 30-40 second answer, so that we can move on with the proceedings for the day. My question is, the drones is the next big thing. The drones business is the next big thing. There are so many applications across industry, right from defense to agriculture, to electricity, to a lot of things. Some of the applications we haven't even thought of yet. Where are we getting stuck? There are 198 countries of the world, with less than 8 countries having a clear-cut policies on drones. Where are we stuck really? Is it for government policies, investments? Where? Anybody, please.
So I'll take that one up. In fact, the number of countries with drone policy is much more than 8. It's just that most of the people have not explicitly come out by recognizing the requirement of a policy for drones. In fact, many, more than 20 countries across the world have an active regulation where flying drones is legal in some form or the other. In various other countries where there is no such policy, they have a explicit permission-based mechanism. There too, if you want to conduct an operation, most famous one is aerial cinematography. You have a form that you can fill and you can get a permission. So getting stuck, yes, the drone technology initially was being looked at from a very negative lens. But just like India, many other countries are opening up from a policy perspective. And people have now started to understand whether, you consider this as a technology of issue or not. This is a technology that you cannot avoid. So either by choice or by force, most of the people are now looking at opening up the markets.
So that's a nice opinion, Smithji. Which leads to my second question. Most of the people who work on drones that I speak on are into the application of the technology. So most people say that, okay, we have drones and we manufacture it. Now the word manufacturing is very loosely used. Manufacturing can mean assembling also, and manufacturing one or two components, and does not necessarily mean the core manufacturing. So that is a gray area there in drones. And again, most people are into applications of drones. That we take your drones, we have a software, we will monitor the electricity lines. We take drones, we will use it to monitor a beach, or a highway patrol. But do we have serious companies, let's say in India, who are working on the software or the core technology itself? Anyone, your opinion, please. Avinash, you are from IIT. Please tell us.
Yeah, actually, like in India, like drone manufacturers are mainly focusing on, like in India, you cannot see like we are getting BLDCs motors manufactured in India, but somehow we have to start and we have to take the initiative to make a BLDC motor or electronic speed controller, or so many companies are involved for making softwares, like they are making their own autopilot. In India, it has been already developed. Their autopilot, like one company PDRL has developed their own like hardware for the autopilot, and like companies are taking initiative, and we have to take it. Somehow we have to take it and take it forward, and government is also supporting in that. Like government has launched PLI schemes, like 2021 when the new drone rules came, like for like initial startup, we are very tense after seeing the drone rules. We used to call Drone Federation of India team members, like where we should go, but they have recently helped us. Like, please wait, we are fighting for these rules, and we'll take forward. And we are very happy that like for whenever I call for every time Drone Federation of India used to take the call, used to motivate us, like don't lose your business.
No, what we will do is we'll put Smith Saab onto you today, right now. After the event, we'll share his mobile number with you so that you can disturb him. Smith, I'm sorry, but I really have to do this.
No, we are accessible to all the drone. In fact, we are
Yeah,
in touch with our,
we have the number. We have the number actually.
Okay,
anyone in the drone
now,
community, we are in touch.
okay, let's hear it from Richard. Richard, please tell us about your opinion on the drone policy, technology, and the business.
I think this is a fascinating argument, and I've seen this a lot here in the UK and in America as well, is that I still think there's a big focus on the drone as a platform. There is some development with the software, but drone services are yet to emerge. And I think that's, once we go beyond visual line of sight, once we can take the pilot away from the drone, even if they're remote, and we can go to fully autonomous drone flights, I think that is going to be the tipping point for this. That's my personal opinion. And to get there, I think what we need to do is prove that we can do it safely. So as an industry, we have an obligation to prove that we can fly mass drone flights over large areas safely without causing the public any distress. I personally think this is a public perception issue. And public perception is the thing that's going to drive innovation. And it drives the legislature as well. I think some of the other speakers mentioned that legislation is catching up. And in Europe and in America in 2022, 2023, they're going to be introducing remote ID rules, which is aiming to increase visibility of drones flying around. And I think as we adopt more of this technology and the general public become more comfortable with drones flying around, as you mentioned in your opening piece, the innovators out there will figure out things that we've not even thought about yet in this industry. And I personally believe it's a super fascinating industry. It's going to be as big and impactful as the internet or the internal combustion engine on our world. It's going to be a phenomenal 10 years.
Yeah. So Richard, tell us, you are in London. The policies in UK or Europe and after the Brexit, is it easier for you to do business in Europe, or is it just as difficult? I mean, going to Europe is as difficult as coming to India. How does it work for you there?
I would say Brexit's a tiny bit. COVID has caused far more of an impact. So COVID is much more difficult. My personal take on this is that if people want to do business with you, they'll find a way. So if I'm selling something that's really easy to sell, like food or drink, then maybe Brexit would have had an impact. But because we're so niche a business, it's had no impact on us.
So how old is your company, Richard?
It was founded in 2017, so we're just about to go into our 5th year.
And you cater specifically to personal defense kind of a segment, personal protection.
Yeah, I do. I can cover this in my brief later on. I've got a few slides if it's worth mentioning. But yeah, I sort of decided we've gone through a bootstrap approach, and I felt that the immediate money to keep the business going was high net worth individuals who really value their privacy, and that's the approach we took, and it appears to be successful.
Okay. You have a presentation for us?
I do have a few slides if you're happy.
Please share it with us.
Okay then. Where is the share screen? So can you see that?
Yes.
Right. So essentially, I'll start out with what our ambition is for a business. I mean, we believe that by monitoring all aircraft, whether they're drones, whether they're passenger airliners, and then solving the problems of drones being flown illegally, then we can unlock the skies. We can allow for mass automated flight. And I think the impact of that means, and it's linked to your sustainability, is drones are electrically powered. If you can fuel them through renewable sources, and we can take away the driver from or the pilot from the process, then we can basically reduce the cost of aviation to practically nothing. So this is what we're trying to do, is we're trying to first solve the tracking problem, because that provides the security wrap that enables drones to be flown autonomously. So this is where drone defense comes in. It started out as a security business, and it will develop as time goes on. So I personally believe that the future of aviation is small, it's sustainable, and it's totally autonomous. And we're inspired by what this might present for us, but we recognize that there is risk, that with all technology, and you think about 5G, mobile phones, the internet, social media, all of these things, they meet initial resistance when they're brought to market, this reactionary resistance. So we believe that by allowing this new technology to be abused, it will eventually be restricted and banned. And we've seen countries in the world that have gone down that route. And thankfully, India and the UK and other parts of the world are opening up the possibilities to drone technology. So we believe there's a better way of enabling drone technology by addressing legitimate security concerns to enable drones to be used for positive purposes. And we think we do that through detection, identification, tracking, and then the mitigation of drones. And it's our mission to help protect people from drone-related harm. And drone-related risks are really quite obvious. We want to prevent them from being used illegally. We want them to use the airspace alongside manned aircraft. And we want drones to work safely alongside each other. And the ability to monitor all of these aircraft at once and provide that information to interested parties like the police, like national aviation authorities, is the key to unlocking the sky. And I do a comparison that in the UK, we have some of the busiest airspace in the world, and our National Air Traffic Service, NATS, they manage over 3 million passenger airliners a year. We've done some desktop analysis just looking at the impact drones may have on delivering parcels. And in the UK, we believe there'll be 3 million drone flights a day if only half the parcels were delivered by drones. So you can see the scale of and complexity of the task going from traditional aviation to autonomous small aviation is fantastic, and it can't be delivered through current structures. So they need to be redefined. So my personal background is I was in the army for 10 years, and the army and defense generally form the vanguard of drone technology. And you can see a selection of drones that I'm reasonably familiar with from my time in the forces. And it was there that led me to think, well, okay, the military have done it to such a great extent, and it's really proven its worth. That would be equally as applicable in the civilian sector. Inspecting roofs, power lines, and some of those other things that you've mentioned. And that got me, that I left the army and set up drone defense back in 2016. And over the past 4 or 5 years, we've grown the business to 15 people in the UK now, doing nothing but focusing on drone tracking and section technology. We've been covered nationally and internationally in the media. And we've won awards from UK government, and it's been a really, really interesting journey for us. So this is what I believe the ecosystem will look like in the future. On the left-hand side, as you're looking at the screen, unmanned aircraft will be delivering cargo. They'll be delivering people as autonomous taxis, and drones will be used to deliver parcels and packages, along with a myriad of other tasks. But the point is that the guys on the left-hand side, they will conform to the rules. Whatever rules exist, they will conform to the rules. Where we're at today is somewhere in the middle, is this middle column, as drones are being used to inspect things at height, and they're being used for filming and photography. And these guys generally conform to the rules. But the problem group are these people on the right-hand side, as you look at the screen. Drones are being used to disrupt airports, smuggle drugs into prisons, and in some parts of the world, they've been used by terrorist organizations to have devastating effects on civilian populations. So the commercial, conspicuous and considerate, we generally don't have to worry about, and we need to focus on the clueless, careless and criminal and address those to enable the guys on the left to exist safely. Now, in the UK, there is lots of legislation that covers drone flight, and it's mostly out of date. And I dare say it's the same everywhere in the world. Drones are currently considered as aircraft. So to do anything to a drone, it falls foul of the legislation that protects aircraft. And they also belong to people as private property, so you can't go shooting them down or damaging them. So there is all sorts of competing legislation that national governments have to deal with before we can legitimately integrate drones and deal with illegal drones. So I just put this in there to highlight that fact. And what we do as part of our security business is we say to our customers is, who is causing you an issue with drone technology? And we basically split the groups down into these 7 groups. So state actors, state supported actors, terrorist groups, being the most serious, and they attract a really high threat level and a lot of technology. You need to stop them. But the mass abusers of drone technology sit at the bottom, and it's generally kids who don't know they shouldn't be flying near the airport or doing something like that do cause disruption, but they have no ill intent. But one thing we do tell customers, this is a security issue and there is no silver bullet. So you have to develop your thinking based on the threats that you face. So this is what I see the challenge being in the future. This is what our ecosystem is going to look like. So on the left-hand side, you're going to have your traditional piloted, remotely piloted drones that are being used for filming and inspection and such like, and they will fly at low altitudes. Next along, you'll have your fully autonomous drones, which will fly at a low to medium altitude and be delivering parcels and people to and from cities. In the middle sector, you've got your traditional aviation with general aviation, passenger airliners, helicopters and the such. And they're traditionally used by, managed by airspace managers. And you can see that there. And on the right-hand side, you've got these illegitimate users that will disrupt the whole ecosystem. So we have to deal with the red drone to enable the others to take place. I see lots of technology driving drone innovation. The computer is just going a little slowly. I see accelerators like technology itself, battery technology, cost of microprocessors, operators, innovators, driving these things, and costs are reducing and performance are massively increasing, driving this technology forwards. But then on the right-hand side, the public, I still believe, are the big issue that we need to address, because that drives the legislator, the regulator. I see interest groups playing a part. So if you think about airline pilots, their industry is just about to be disrupted massively by drone technology. So they are going to resist it. And then clearly reckless users who we're seeking to address. But to get through all of that, if we can create visibility, we can go beyond this concept of visual line of sight, and we can create this fully autonomous airspace that is safe, it's secure, operators are accountable, and people can work alongside each other with high degrees of confidence. So what this next section talks about what we're trying to do to solve the problem. So the first thing we've done is we've created a thing called an aero ping, which is placed on the drone and enables it to transpond its position to other drone airspace users. So the drone can say, I am here, avoid me, or I am here just to let you know that I am legitimately here as well. So this remote ID concept I've seen is going to be introduced in Europe in 2023, and the same in America. I don't know what it's like in India, but I see that as a real game changer for this industry. And I see lots of manufacturers and the guys that are manufacturing drones. I'm sure they've already considered how they're going to put remote ID devices into their platforms. And then what we've developed ourselves is a detection system that has been approved and tested by the UK Centre for Protection on National Infrastructure. We are one of 10 or 12 companies in the world that have had our system tested and approved by them. So we know it meets an international standard. And this thing comprises of a user interface, which I'll show you in a second if we've got the time. Radio frequency based detection, passive detection, that's picking up the controller and the drone's radio frequency connection. We then have an AI-driven optical recognition system that locks onto the drone to see if it's carrying a payload. And for drones that are not transmitting anything, we've integrated radars that give really high quality data and tracking data, so we can place these things and get cameras to look at them. And then next, and I believe this is the future, is how we turn drone detection, which is really quite a complex and expensive business, and we make it accessible to everybody over wide areas. And we've developed a system called Aero Tracker. And the Aero Tracker is designed to detect, identify, and track illegal drone use to try and give stakeholders of all varieties access to information that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get access to. And I looked at what the drone problem is here in the UK, and I'm pretty sure it's similar everywhere in the world, that there are about 1 million commercial drones in the UK. So if you think about 1 in 60 people have a drone that are of a decent capability. On average, it's flown about 5 or 10 times a week. So that means there's 50 million drone flights a year. So if you take that into context of what I said earlier about 3 million general aviation flights, we've got 50 million drone flights happening every year right now. And a third of those have an illegal element. And we deem an illegal element being it's flying too high or it's flying too far from its operator. So it's dangerous. So 15 million illegal flights a year, we believe, because people don't follow the extant rules. So we've developed a platform called Aero Tracker. And do I have time to quickly show it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to share something else. So here we go. So this is our Aero Tracker platform, and this is completely live. If everybody can see that. So we have deployed a series of sensors across the UK that are tracking not only drones, but you can see they're tracking normal aircraft. From this one here is an Emirates flight that's come from Dublin and is going into Europe. But what we've also got is we're tracking drones, and this particular Mavic Air here is currently being flown inside a flight restriction zone of an airport, and it's being flown illegally. It's currently at 250 meters above ground level, which is too high by law. It's twice the permitted altitude. So it's showing up as a red drone on our interface. And you can see that other aircraft, you can see that there, right there, that this is live. An aircraft has just flown past that drone within 50 meters. I mean, that is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing if you think about that in terms of aviation safety. Right there, that is just happened. I can't believe
so
that.
The trackers that you just showed us, who owns these trackers? They've been done by the government?
This is me. No, we've done it.
You have installed trackers across this geography?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Smith, this is very interesting. We should really have a discussion on this, Subhashish.
Yes. So
definitely, we'll be bringing this tracker technology with the drones as well, because on 25th of August, we have released the new drone rules. Basically, within 6 or 12 months, we'll be bringing in this tracker technology to India as well. We have requested DRDO and other industry as well to bring in. So we'll be implementing in all the drones. We can see whoever is flying in the red zone. However, we have allowed no tracking of drones in the green zone. But maybe once manufacturing starts, we'll be asking the manufacturers to include in all the drones so that we can track all of the drones in India that are flying.
Sure, absolutely. Let's give Richard 1 or 2 more minutes, and then have a detailed discussion on this. Richard.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating point of view. And what I'll come back to is the fact that if you think about cars all have number plates on, but the criminals who use cars to cause crime, they don't use their number plates. So I think putting number plates or electronic ID onto drones will only partially solve the problem. The fact that we still have to have the ability to, so you can see, for example, this drone here that we've given a unique identifier to, we've detected it 3 times in its network, and 2 of those 3 times it's broken the rules somehow. So imagine that you're a police officer or a first responder, and you see two drones in the sky, and you go, well, which one's the bad one? Which one do I need to go and arrest? Well, actually, we can look at the guy's history of how he's flown, and then you can go and prosecute. So you can go and take that information, and you can go and prosecute the person, not only based on the current flight that they've done, but previous flights before. And I just think this is the future. We have to create this national network of sensors to capture both drones that are complying with the system and those who are not. And you can see another drone has just come into the system. And this one, we have sensors in Dallas, in Texas as well. And you can see this one is flying around Texas Speedway. So if I was holding a public event, I wouldn't want these drones flying near those public events because there's large crowds there. So now you could use this information and go and arrest this operator. So this is what I think we need to create to enable drones to be used. So does anybody have any questions? This is live, so people can have a look at this if you like. Aerotracker.io, go on there, have a play if you want to have a play with it. So do you have any other questions about that at this time?
No, not as of now, but let's have a discussion with Subhashish. Subhashish, if you could quickly tell us in the next 3, 4, 5 minutes about your opinion on the policy, then we can have a presentation look at Avinash. Subhashish ji, please.
Yeah. So basically, drones will offer tremendous benefits in various sectors such as agriculture, mining, or infrastructure, surveillance, emergency response, transportation, mapping, defense, everything. So with this, the emergence of geospatial technologies and drones in the field of defense is expected to enhance the efficiency of the intelligence bodies and boost the capabilities of the armed forces over the years. And the technology, what I think will power these drones will be artificial intelligence and machine learning, which will use the data from the sensors attached to the drone to collect and implement the visual and environmental data. Then the data analysis will be done by the concerned authorities, which will be helping these drones to fly in autonomous or assisted flight paths. After that, also carriage of payloads through drones in hilly areas will become cost effective, whether in Assam or in the Northeast. Many things have been done by this ICMR. Also, medical deliveries also being done through AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science. Before that, what I want to say is MOCA has notified the drone rules on 25th of August this year. And also we have released the PLI scheme on 30th September with the amount which amounts to 120 crores spread over 3 financial years. So this is nearly double the combined turnover of all domestic drone manufacturers for this financial year. So drones is built on premise of trust, self-certification and non-intrusive monitoring as of now. So we have reduced several approvals which were in the previous rules that were being restrictive to the industry. So we reduced from 25 to 5, and number of fees also have been reduced from 72 to 4. Also, within 1 year, we'll be looking into this BB loss experiments. Once the BB loss experiments have been completed by the different consortia, then we'll be getting inputs from them and we'll be framing a policy on how BB loss will be done in Pan India with the policy. So basically, Amazon will be delivering, or Flipkart, or any medicine deliveries over Andaman and all. So all this will be governed through those policies. So once we are expecting this BB loss experiment to be completed by all the agencies, so BB loss will be coming in very fast. So what we have done is only you have created a unique identification number and a remote pilot license, and one more is the type certification of the drone. These 3 things are mandatory for every drone. And basically, if someone wants to fly in a green zone in India, so that's absolutely free. One can see the airspace map, which was launched on 24th of September this year. And what I see is the future of drones are like it has tremendous amount. It can bring it to the economy of the India. So we are also expecting this tracker technology in airports. BCAS has already issued some AFSEC orders to implement all the counter drone technology.
Yeah. Sorry, Subhashish, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Subhashish ji.
Yeah. So basically, let's continue further.
Yeah, Subhashish ji, do you have any other presentation or anything for us?
So basically, I would request if someone from the panel may ask some questions.
Yes, we'll get to the question session. Let's hear it from Avinash ji. Avinash ji, your opinion quickly, and then we move on to the question. Narang Saab, thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now we all know about the drone technologies, and just now Mr. Subhasis has introduced about the India's new drone policies. So these slides consider these two things like drone technology and India's new drone policy. So you all know about what drones called, why we called unmanned aircraft. Essentially, like a drone is a flying robot that can be remotely controlled or fly autonomously through a software controlled flight. What we do actually, like we have a ground control software. Like if you consider mission planner, we give one mission to the drones to go and complete the mission and come land to the initial positions. So like there are various types of like unmanned aircraft, like multi-rotor, fixed-wing aircraft. Compared to like multi-rotor and fixed wing has more endurance, like can go far. Like there are so many advantages over the quadcopters. Like if you are talking about the commercials and in the enterprises drone application, like few year backs, we are like our military, our armed forces was known about like they are using only drones, and all commercial people are not aware of the drones technology. They actually know about it, but they don't understand what is the use, how we will get benefited. But like in nowadays, in every year, like drone business is growing 100 times better. Like if you consider surveying and mapping, like the world's, I think the Samavita Yojana is a world largest mapping project. It is not only mapping and creating a digital map, but it is all about solving the problem of the farmers or the rural peoples, and so many things like governments are doing through the surveying and map Samavita project. And drone can be used in disaster response, assess protection, wildlife monitoring. Like the integration of drones, internet technology has created numerous enterprises uses, like drones working on ground IoT sensors networks. Like in agriculture field, agriculture companies are like monitoring the health of the crops, and according to that, they are acting on that, like doing the pesticide spraying, even like doing the pesticide opening. They are like using multi-spectral camera, and they can easily find out which part of the drone, which part of the crops has been like is not in good condition, or they can use the pesticide spraying. And if you can consider like spraying drone during the pandemics, we have seen like various uses of drones, like crowd monitoring, sanitization through a like agricultural drone has been being used by so many industries in India. Like they used to, not in India, in global level, they used to sanitize the places through a drone, and you can see one seed dropping using drones. Like if you see crowded or densified forest area, you cannot go to that area to put the plants and all. So that is drone is being uh, used for the seed dropping also, and it is reducing the risk from the wildlife animals, and this is this drone industry has to go far. Like many application is coming every day. Like many people are like developing a drone based on AI based like this 10 20 days back we have seen that swarm drone in IIT Delhi that is led by Drone Federation of India. So if you are coming to the for drone delivery and component manufacturing, as you have asked in beginning, that what we are doing as a manufacturers in India. Like you have seen, like people have to think about the how we can manufacture the BLDC motors, which is not available in India. So making India a global drone manufacturer. So we have to think in every perspective. Like you have to manufacture the each and every component. Try to manufacture the each. It may take the times, but definitely it can happen. If other people can do it, we can also do it. So we have taken the initiative of like designing the motors and payloads and all. So we have started through a motor from the motor, but at the same time, if you are designing or if you are going for the manufacturer BLDC motor, so at the same time you need a good support, a financial support from the industry, from the government, you can say, or from the investor, you can say. So it is a very big opportunity for like global investors also to look into the Indian market for that manufacturing in the drone industries. Like if you talk about the drones for delivery, like many like few years back we have seen that DHL has delivered one football in the football grounds, and Amazon has acquired the delivery drones. Like in futures we are like testing the beyond visual line of sight uh, drones. So once it is done by the industry, when it is approved by that Ministry of Civil Aviation, then we can look forward for the delivery drones. And instead of that, many things are related to drone deliveries. Drone delivery is happening right now. Like few days back in Manipur, one drones had delivered a vaccine uh, which has helped the rural people in, at the high altitude to get the vaccinated and all. So it is very good opportunity for each and everyone in the drone industry, even in the global levels. So come forward, help the drone industries in India and make the India drone hub. And coming to the like drone policy of 2021, as it was introduced by Mr. Devasiji. So several permission approval has been abolished, like 20 number of form has been reduced from 25 to 5. Types of fees has been reduced from 72 to 4. Like digital sky platform has been developed as per the user friendly, like we have seen few days back within 13 days, like Indian Mocha has introduced the aerospace map, like uh, which has been helpful for many drones service provider as a manufacturer or a R&D sectors who can go in the green zone and flights the drones. And we are very happy that like 2 day or 3 days back that Mocha has introduced the search option in the interactive map in airspace map. So it's coming to the drones rules. Like many things has been reduced, and we are, or as a newcomer in the drone industry, like I was very happy to see the rules of 2021, because in previous rules you have, if you are doing the R&D also research and development, you have to take the permission. If you are going for the flight also, you have to take the permission. But after seeing the 2021 rules, many like entrepreneurs has came into the market, and they are doing research and development, and they are doing actually good for the
So,
industries. And
Avinash, where do you see your company going? As a co-founder of Aerosys Aviation, where do you see your company going? Into applications, into manufacturing, into core manufacturing, into software? Which is the one real single forte that you wish to go into?
see, we are mainly focused on manufacturing right now. So we have developed one drones also in macro category, which is specially designed for surveying and mapping. So we see ourselves as a drone manufacturer. This drone manufacturer doesn't mean that we can only manufacture the frames and all. We design the frames and we do manufacturing, but we are seeing ourselves in coming 5 years to manufacture the BLDC's model, drone components, actually basically to manufacture the payload, also to manufacture like how much we can do. We are trying our best to do that. We have initiated our things also, like the designing the motors parts, and we are in touch with some people so that they can help to design the BLDC motor. So at the same time, once you have the product, or once you have the prototyping of your motors, and you can test it, so you can pitch your product and you can get the investors also. So after that, you can think about that for the huge manufacturing of the motors, CSCs, and all. So
Sure,
we
sure,
see our
Avinash ji. Let's take that offline. I am very keen to, I come from an investment banking background personally. So I am very keen to take this offline with you on the manufacturing side of it. In the meantime, let's hear it from Smith ji. We
yes.
have Smith Shah with us. Mr. Smith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, please tell us about partnerships at the Drone Federation of India, sir. We have heard a lot about the Drone Federation from Narangji also, and we would love to hear your thoughts on the drone business and the partnerships, please.
Sure. So we represent about 200 companies at India. About 5% of them are from outside India. This includes about 80 drone manufacturers, 120 drone service providers, and close to about 2,000 drone pilots. So that's the number of companies that we represent. And the idea is to build a holistic ecosystem for drones, for which we do policy advocacy, trade promotion, standardization, efforts around standardization and certification, and skill development. And we do all of this through a very community driven approach. So yeah, that's what we do generally, and we've been trying to contribute to ensure that the entire ecosystem of the country is more trust based, more on self certification basis. And for our viewers who are going to be seeing this session, very important to understand that till now the drone industry was more compared towards aviation. And when you try to draw an analogy, I keep giving this to everyone. Now drones are being looked at more from a motor vehicles perspective. So every car that you buy in the market, it is once approved, and then 1 crore cars can be manufactured. So which is how type certification of drones is mandated. After that, any person who drives the car requires a license. So in this case, you require the driving license equivalent, which is the remote pilot license. And obviously, when you are buying the car, you require a registration. So that's where you are registering the car, in this case, registering the drone. And that is the unique identification number. If everything goes well, typically in your car, you cannot enter a defense area because you have to be invited to enter into that premise, which is the red zone. In some of the areas, which is like your office premise or your house premise, you may go with your car and there may be a security guard who would ask you some details but let you go inside. That is like the yellow zone, and everything else which is public roads is green zone. If you have all of this, you have a certified drone, you have a licensed remote pilot or a drone pilot license, and you have registered your drone. The only thing that is required is a third party liability insurance. So in your cars also you have third party liability insurance that is compulsory. So that's how India is now going to treat drones, and that's the core logic. If you remove the entire technicalities in aviation and you take it to the grassroots, that cars and drones are being treated logically similar. Obviously, there are all the complexities of the airspace and aviation and tracking of drones and traffic management of drones. That is being looked at. In fact, India very soon will also be launching a unmanned traffic management policy, the UTM policy of the country. So those are some things that are happening. And lastly, I would just want to mention, with the policy being so liberal and the production-linked incentive scheme coming in fact, if you look at any other industry, in all other industries, if you are making cars or mobile phones, the government will give you 5% incentive in the first year, 4% in the second year, 3% in the third year, and likewise for 5 years, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you sell 100 rupees worth of product or $100 worth of products, and you have $40 of import, on the $60 that is your value addition, the government in a mobile or a automobile sector would give you 5% incentive cashback for the first year, and then it goes down to 5%, 4%, 3% over the next 5 years. Also, in all such schemes, there is a requirement of investing a couple of, about $1 to $10 million and doing a fixed sales of an X value. Now, when you look at drones, the government of India has released a production-linked incentive scheme. Here, the return is 20%. So, if you sell $100 worth of products and you have $40 worth of import, on the $60, that is your profit or your value addition, you will get 20% return. This is applicable on drones, drone components, and drone-related software. Also, for you to achieve this benefit, there are no targets. So you need to, if you are a component manufacturer, you need to have a revenue of 50 lakhs, INR 50 lakhs. If you are a drone manufacturer, you need to have a revenue of 2 crores, the last annual revenue or the current annual revenue. But after that, there is no sales target as such. So that's the uniqueness with which India is now treating drones. From a regulatory perspective, treating it as simple as automobile. From an incentive perspective, special incentives much more than the electronic sector and the automobile sector. And it's no time. There cannot be a better time to enter drones, especially drones in the Indian market. So that's what I would want to tell everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Smithji, for that. And the analogy comparing it to a car was excellent. I hope it becomes true in the near future. I look forward to buying a drone, in fact.
It is true today. I mean, there is no near future. It is true today. The policy has been launched and it is a gazette notification. So that's how this country is going to treat its drone industry, and it's going to be one of the technologies of national importance. It is today, not tomorrow.
Very nice. Then I must congratulate the government, and we should also congratulate the Drone Association for pushing the government in the right direction. Yeah, so with that, we come to the end of today's session. There is time for questions. We can ask questions. Do you have questions for each other?
So I have a question for Richard, if you would like to take that.
Yeah, please.
So Richard, maybe a couple of 2-3 connected questions. First, about the tracker, is there a standard that you are following? Question number 1. Question number 2, I'll just ask a set of connected questions, and then maybe it will be more contextual. So are you following some sort of a standard? And second, what is the model in which you are deploying these trackers? Are you the provider, or you just sell it as a hardware and then the people use it on their own? That's my question for you, Richard.
So in the UK, they haven't settled on a standard yet. So it looks like the Europeans have settled a standard, and this is a link to this whole Brexit issue, that the Europeans have set a standard. The Americans look like they're going to adopt this ASTM standard. The UK haven't decided. What we think is going to happen is that we will adopt the ASTM standard the same as everybody else. But the sensors themselves, it's sort of linked that the sensors themselves have their own particular standards. So a radar will put out its information via its standard. And what we're doing is we consume all of these feeds from different sensors and then merge that data, we fuse it, and then we push that out via an API to the applicable standard to the National Air Traffic Control or whoever might be interested in. So once that standard becomes a thing, we will conform with it. And linked to this is our business model is to sell the data. Actually, we like the mobile phone network. They own all the towers. They own all the radio transmitters. We want to own all the towers and the sensors. We collect the data and then we sell that data to whoever needs it. And that's our business model. It's data as a service.
Understood. Thanks.
No, those trackers are very important. We need to discuss that in detail. We can invite Smith to have a discussion with us. Subhashish ji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, Subhashish ji. On what else is the opinion of the Ministry of Civil Aviation? How is it treating this as a business case?
Basically, we have removed all these security clearance, so many of approvals as stated in the earlier rules. So we have almost opened up the drone industry. We want manufacturers to manufacture drones in India, basically the drone components, and they can import or export whatever they want to do. So basically, we have opened up. We want the like trackers, BVLOS, flights, basically to start and like contribute to the economy of India.
So that there is already a policy or process for these trackers in place?
It will be like released within 6 to 12 months after this 25th of August drone rules. So we are looking into it, how we will implement it in pan India. So basically, we are looking we are asking the private players to come up with the tracker technology to us, and whichever suits the best will be implemented whole over of India.
Is there something separate for smart cities, or is it generally for the country?
It's for the country. It's not like for the smart cities only. It's for the country.
And as I understand it correctly, there is no problem with FDI, foreign direct investments in India in the drone business.
Definitely, sir, you can go through the drone rules. We are not stopping anyone. Anyone can come and manufacture in India. They can start their own service-based company for drones. So they can manufacture components. They can whatever they want. They can do. We are completely opened up.
Thank you very much, Subhashish ji, for that candid answer. We can see Smith smiling. That is in the right place at the right time, and the government is working on it. So there was a big smile on Smith's face. Thank you very much. With that, we come to the end of today's session. Narang ji, are you there with us, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a end of the 3-day session, I would like you to say a few words. Before that, I would like to invite all of you to submit an article. It could be PR, half a page A4 size article from all the panel members for today. We are coming out with a small booklet on the drone business, and every speaker in the last 3 days will be contributing an article. So, I would invite you all to also write an article, share something about your company, share something about your vision, and we'll put that in the article. Narang ji, over to you, sir, for, as the end of the 3-day session. Your words, please.
No, thank you. Nothing much to say. I've already said, and as we said, Indian drone industry is looking forward to partnerships. Indian drone industry is looking forward to investment. Indian drone industry is open. It's willing to go and export. It's ready to go and contribute in other markets. And there are numerous applications coming up. Use it, and this is the time. And don't wait for too long. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. My name is Paresh, and I'm signing off for the day. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here with us today. Thank you. Thank you very much.